Hello, today we'll be covering the chapter 3 of our Q basic education. We look at arrays, loops, and logic. And we will first we ask ourselves, what are arrays? So an array is a big box. It's just a big box that houses smaller compartments. If you remember, in your previous section, looked at a variable. A variable is a box, just a tiny box. If variable is a box, it means that an array is a bigger box. It means that it's a big box. So in arrays, we are looking at the box having compartments, the box that can have so many values. If you look at the examples that we have here, we use a keyword or a command which is called dim, D-I-M, to create arrays. And the array in the example that's here is that is we have the example that has been given, that is we are looking at an array called day, and we all know that there are 7 days in a week. These 7 days in a week, it reminds us that is about the days, that is from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So every array has an index number. So if you look at the, the array size, that is the number of elements in the array, the big box, you can see that each element will have a unique identifier, which is called an index. That is what we are looking at. Okay, so we can also talk about loops. So let me track back and talk about the array a little. So this is the syntax of an array. You can use the index number in the parentheses, access a specific box, the specific index. So the arrays, that is for the arrays. So an array is a big box. You can also talk about a loop. A loop is just code that signifies iterations. Iterations are repetition. So a loop, like a for next loop, repeats a block of code for a number of times. So if you look at this code, the for is a command, the next is a command, the print is a command. All these are commands. The Q basic. The I is a placeholder. So for the I, you can imagine, you can use any other letter for the I. You can, in place of the I, you can say X on all those things. Probably we are in this case we're using I. So for I equals 100. So we are looking at a case whereby we are doing some iterations from 1 to 100. That is cycles of repetitions, 100 times. For that 100 times, we are printing I 100 times. And for it to become a loop, that is why there's a next I. So the next I, it will keep on happening until the placeholder, which is I, will hit 100, and which will stop. We can also talk about the step. The step keyword or the command is for incrementation. That is, you can add for I equals 1 to 100. Then we can add step. The step will tell you that in what increment do you want? Do you want to move print I in what order? Is it in 2, in addition of 2? So if you say print, if you say step 2, you're looking at 2 plus 2 plus 2 in that order. But in the example that we have on our screen, this order will print I in, that is in a sequential order, 1, 2, 3, 4, until we hit 100, and we call it a day. Also, we can talk about commands like go to. The interesting thing about go to is that it has something called a label. If you want to go to a certain point, you must call the label so that you can go back to that point. So in the example, we have a label called top, and we have referenced that label go to top, and to take us to that label. That is one thing. We can also talk about logical decisions. That is the logic we are talking about. Logical decisions are choices we make. So we can talk about the if logic. If this is true, then do this. If something happens, this will happen. That is only if, and if the condition, the if that what is happening, if the condition is true, then the statement will execute. If not, it will not execute. That is what we have. So in the example, we've given some example. So if choice is equal to 1, then go to clear. We also have color in QBasic. In QBasic, we have colors. So these are some of the color codes. One is for that blue, and I want you to go through some of the colors. We have six here. Yeah, more to it. There are more colors. Then so the usage is you write color COLOR, and you reference the number of color that you want, then you go. So let's look at some exercises. I want you to write strings, write strips, or write lines of code. Basically, I'll call it a game, but that is the exercise I want you to come out of. So write codes with 3 chances. So in this case, we'll be using the if condition, or if the logical decision, that's if then. And you tell the user if it is too high or too low. So the user write a game with 3 chances to guess a number between 1 to 10. So the user will guess that number using the input command, and after guessing, if it is too high, if the user gets it correct, there will be a printed message you are correct. So this is just the logic part of it. We also have the calendar. So the calendar exercise is on arrows, just as we did for the day. This as we did for the day. The day we have 7 days in a week, and so it has indexes. So we can talk about using that keyword and you bring your array name. The same thing. I want you to look at the calendar to store months in an array. Ask yourself, what will be the array name? So we can call it months. You can bring the $sign at the end, and you are also I want you to also use a for next loop to display them in different colors. I wish you the best of luck. I want you to, if there's any challenge that you face in the comment section, I'd like to hit me up and we'll talk about it. Please subscribe to the channel and give me a like, and peace. We will meet.